Typing. Yeah. Hello. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. It's a good morning here in my country. How are you there? Hello, hello. Say hello. Say hello. Someone say hello. Someone say hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you are watching me from, thank you for joining today's live. Hey, France from Kampala, Uganda, kindly come and say hi. Give me the thumbs up. Oops. Okay, let's begin the morning exercise, friends. Say hello. Yeah. Say hi. Do the morning exercise together. Hello, hello. Come and do the simple exercise. Someone has joined. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, how are you? Good morning. Come on, exercise. Yeah, a simple exercise will not leave you the same. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. So, can you give me a thumbs up? Mm. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining today's live. We are doing the morning exercise. Hello, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining today's live. Hello, good morning. How are you? Kampala, hey, hi, Mar, hi, dear, how are you? Thank you so much for joining today's live. Here we are. Time for exercise. Kindly give me a thumbs up. Double click your screens. If you've not yet subscribed, kindly go and subscribe. Hello, in my country. Thank you so much for joining today's live. Time for morning exercise. Time for morning exercise. Thank you so much for joining. Have you had your exercise already? Thank you so much. Kindly share with me where you're watching me from. And kindly give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining today's live, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today's live, friends. Time for morning exercise. Have you done yours? Are you ready? Yeah, let's go. Let's start. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Good morning. Morning exercise. Yeah. So much for joining. Come and say hello. Say hi. Simple, simple exercise that make your body fit. Yes. Thank you so much for joining. Live. Your preference. Yes. Hey. Hi, dear. Thank you so much for joining. This is the morning exercise. Simple, simple. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, dear. How are you doing? Okay. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Mm. Can you give me a thumbs up? Thank you so much for joining. Can you give me a thumbs up? Let's exercise together. Yeah, it's the morning exercise. Simple, simple. Thank you so much for joining. It's live. We are doing your with difference. Passionate at my farm. So before that day begins, I do some simple exercise. Yeah, it helps me to be fit, to be healthy. Exercise is medicine, remember. I don't know whether you've done yours. I don't know whether you did in the morning or you're about to have your morning exercise. So much for joining. Yeah, friends, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Yes. Where are you watching me from? Kindly share with me. Kindly share with me where you're watching me from. Thank you so much for joining today's live. Kindly give me a thumbs up. Double click your screen. Have you had your morning exercise? Are you about or you already done? So you with friends, kindly share with me where you're watching me from. Yeah. Share with me where you're watching me from. So thank you so much for joining. Give me a thumbs up, friends. So, have you heard the morning exercise? You had already? Hi, how are you, dear? Mr. Stanley Richards. Where are you watching me from, darling? Thank you so much for joining today's live. You're with Air Friends, the passionate urban farmer. So, I'm here doing some simple exercise. I don't know whether you had yours. You're about to have the exercise. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Have you had the morning exercise? Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Mr. Stanley, where are you watching me from, darling? Share with me. Time for morning exercise. Yeah. Share with me where you're watching me from. Kindly let me know where you're watching me from. Give me a thumbs up. Support me with this surprise. Whoops. Wow. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. From St. Vincent. Which country, dear? Where is St. Vincent? Oh, thank you so much for joining, guys. Time for morning exercise. Have you had yours already? Are you planning to have some exercises before you begin your day? Begin with your exercise. Begin with morning exercise. Where is? Oh. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate. Where are you from? I'm in Kampala, from Uganda. Yeah. I'm in Kampala, Uganda. I'm a Ugandan African woman. Yes. Yeah, I'm from Kampala, Uganda. Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining today's live. We are doing some simple exercise. Yes. And from here, I'll be having a cup of warm water. Thank you so much for joining today's live, friends. I really appreciate. Have you had your exercise? The morning exercise. So much for joining. Do a simple exercise. Friends, thank you. Love you too. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Kindly give me a thumbs up. Share with me where you're watching me from. Well, thank you so much for joining today's live. Wow. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live. Yeah. Thank you. Have you had the morning exercise already? Wow. So you with a friends, passionate urban farmer. So before I go into the garden to do the morning exercise. I do simple exercise, but they help me to be healthy, to be fit. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live. We are doing the morning exercise, simple exercise. Yeah. Exercise is good, friends. For people like me, you can do the walking, you can do the simple running. Yeah, provided you can keep your body fit. It's training friends. Been with me on today's live. Yeah, thank you, kindly. Hello, thank you. Thank you for joining me on today's live. Mhm. Thank you so much for joining me. You didn't tell me where you're watching me from, but it's okay. But thank you for joining. Yeah, you jog for 3 minutes. Mhm. Thank you so much for joining, friends. Thank you for being with me on today's live. Thank you so much. Have you had the morning exercise? Kindly do. If you have already done, well and good. If you've not, plan to do the morning exercise. Some are preparing to go to bed, sweet dreams. Some are preparing to go to work, journey masses. Some are preparing to have dinner. Enjoy. But thank you so much for joining. Kindly come and say hello. Yeah, you're with A France, the passionate urban farmer. So before I go into the garden, I do some simple exercise. Yeah, but how are you doing over there? Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me on doing the morning simple exercise. Come on to join me. for this session, the morning exercise. Have you had yours already? Well and good. Me, I'm just having mine. What I do before I begin the day is some simple exercise. Simple exercise. Thank you so much for joining, friends, today's live. Yes. Thank you so much for being with me for this session of the morning exercise. Beautiful. Wow. So let me prepare my cup of water. I'm here, guys. Don't go. Yeah. Stay with me, friends. I'm here. Don't go. Don't go. Hello. Yeah. Thank you for being with me on today's live. Yes. Thank you so much for joining. Kindly give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching me from. You're with Airfresh, the passionate urban farmer. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live. Kindly stick around. I'm still with you. Don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away, friends. Don't go. Don't. Don't go away, friends. Stay with me. Thank you so much for being with me on today's live. Yes. Oops. Hello. Come and say hi. Come and say hello. Thank you so much to those who have been with me during the exercise. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. So I am done with the exercise. Are you done with yours already? So much for joining. Here for the first time with any friends. It's urban farmer. Kindly come and say hello. Kindly come and say hi. Where are you watching me from? Come and say hello. Where are you watching me from? Here it is already morning. How about you? Have you heard the exercise already? Have you heard the exercise, friends? Stick around. Don't go away. Hello. Hi. Hi. Where are you watching me from? Can you come and say hi? Yeah. Come and say hello, friends. Don't let me to talk alone. Come and say good morning. Just come and say hello. Share with me where you're watching me from. Kindly double click your screen. Subscribe onto my channel. For Profit Uganda. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed, kindly go there and subscribe. But how are you over there? How is the going? Are you preparing to go for work? Journey masses. Preparing to have dinner, enjoy. Preparing to go to bed, sweet dreams. Preparing to wake up. Please, please kick off that blanket. Kick off that blanket, my dear. Get out of that bed. Get out of that comfort zone. Get out, have a word of prayer, do the exercise, and then begin your day. May God grant you success. May God bless the works of your hands. May He guide you wherever you are planning to go. Those who are troubled, may the Comforter comfort you. Those who are not feeling well, may the great physician touch you, heal you. Thank you so much for joining today's live. Yeah. If you've not said hi, kindly come and say hello. Kindly share with me where you're watching me from. If you've planned to do your morning exercise, please do. Thank you so much for being with me for today. So humbled to have you. Have a blessed day.